Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Recovery is Effing Awesome. I am Robo. It is July the 28th, 2022, and I had the opportunity last night to go speak at a treatment center. And this young man, after we were done, came up and asked, he said, "Hey, I'm a poet. You got a podcast?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, if I gave you a copy of my poem, would you read it?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." But I did tell him that I wasn't going to read it until, I read it on the podcast because I didn't want to prejudice, any emotions I may have. I didn't really want to know what was coming up, so we can get the, the raw, real emotions. This is a poem by William Dion Henderson. Title is Man Above. Addiction, caused from past trauma, causes affliction. Looking for a light switch to flick on because I'm lost in darkness. Spirit tarnished from so much pain. My addiction kicks in to take it away. But it is truly gone because it seems like the affliction has truly grown. God, I know you're here, but where have I gone? Lost and pretend to be strong. Hold on, I give in. I need some help. God, please order my steps, because I stumble at every turn, trapped by my demons that want me to burn. But today I say no. I choose a righteous path. Cleanse my soul. It needs a bath. This life I'm living, I can no longer endure. And I know my God has so much more. More love, more happiness, more peace. So it's time for this addiction to go to sleep. No more dark, no more hurt. It's time for this addiction to reverse. Reverse into joy, laughter, and love. And I know we all can do it with the man above. Wow. Again, that was a poem given to me by William Dion Henderson. That, my friend, is amazing. Maybe if he'll let me, he can write some more and I could read these. That was... Wow, that, great job. Great job. Whew, okay. All right. Thank you, Dion. That's some good stuff. I am amazed because when people are far more talented at doing something than I am, that is just... that is amazing, Dion. That is, keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming. All right, today, Daily Reflections, again, July 28th. Title is Those Who Still Suffer. Let us resist the proud assumption that since God has enabled us to do well in one area, we are destined to be a channel of saving grace for everybody. That comes from AA Comes of Age, page 232. A member writes, AA groups exist to help alcoholics achieve sobriety. Large or small, firmly established or brand new, speaker, discussion, or study, each group has but one reason for being: to carry the message to the still suffering alcoholic. The group exists so that the alcoholic can find a new way of life, a life abundant in happiness, joy, and freedom. To recover, most alcoholics need the support of a group of other alcoholics who share their experience, strength, and hope. Thus, my sobriety, our program survival, depend on my determination to put first things first. There's a lot in there. Let us resist the proud assumption that since God has enabled us to do well in one area, we are destined to be a channel of saving grace for everybody. My job as a recovering member is to share my experience, strength, and hope, because really, that's all that I have, with the newcomer, or with just another, doesn't really matter how many days you got strung together. Life is life, and, there's people with, umpteen years of sobriety who still, struggle with issues a little bit. I share my experience, strength, and hope to help, the suffering alcoholic, and that's what we do. Right, our journeys are different on the way to here, but now we're here. We're still going the same direction, and our journeys may veer off the the path a little bit. But if we're still moving forward, it's still a good thing. And the other thing is, like, if you sponsor people, right? You help them to work the steps according to the book. And if you're looking for a sponsor, you should find a someone who has worked the steps as outlined in the book. There's some people that I have known who work the steps, but they don't use the book, which, in my opinion, to get the full value and to honestly achieve peace and calmness and serenity in your life, the outline's in the book. First 164 pages. And if I ever say anything that you can't back up with in the book, then that's just my opinion. And again, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, right? But the way to truly live this program is you work the steps the way the book outlines. That worked for me, my sponsor. It worked for him, and it worked for his sponsor too. So there's one way to do it, in my opinion. And they wrote this book in the 30s, and it's still relevant today as it was back then. And talking about sponsorship, when I sponsor people, I go through the steps with them using the book. I go through the book with them, helping them understand. Because when I came in, I didn't understand. I could read, but I didn't really comprehend all the stuff that was in the book, and so it was explained to me, the meaning and the context, and that's my job as a sponsor. What is not my job as a sponsor is to keep you sober. Your sobriety is not my responsibility, just like my sobriety is not my sponsor's responsibility. I've sponsored a couple people, and they made the decision to go back out, test the waters. That's not on me. I do the best I can with what I got. I use the book, and my phone, I'm like 7-Eleven, my phone's 24/7 all the time, it's on. But I cannot be responsible for keeping other people sober. That being said, with my experience, strength, and hope, and sharing at meetings and sharing with sponsees, at the end of the day, it's their choice whether they want to stay sober or not. Because if I want to go get drunk, I can guarantee you that there is no human being alive on this planet, not my kids, not my wife, not my parents, not my friends, who are going to, if I truly want to go get drunk, no human is going to stop me. That's just the way it is. That's kind of how I'm wired. And then it goes on to say AA groups exist to help alcoholics achieve sobriety. 100%. There's people who can do the Zoom meetings. There's people who can stay sober without going to meetings. And good on them. There's people who can stay sober just by going to church, and good, right? Good. Whatever works for you. But what works for me is all of it. It's the book. It's the meetings. It's the praying. It's the meditating. It's the journaling. It's, talking to another alcoholic. It is waking up every morning and choosing to be happy, choosing to have gratitude. If for nothing else, like, hey, I woke up this morning. I got friends who don't have that opportunity, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to wake up and get one more shot at this thing. And also the fellowship with other alcoholics. I play softball with some guys from the group, and it's just, we suck. I mean, we just do. Last week we scored 7 runs. That's the most that we've scored, it was great, but it's not so much going out there and trying to win the softball game. And, yeah, that'd be cool if we did, but it's more about, doing fun stuff with other people in recovery, and being an example to other people maybe who are out there, playing on different teams, and they see us, just having a ball. We're getting our ass smoked, and we're out there just having a ball. It's fun. it's fun hanging out with these guys. I love these guys. They give me joy, right? Just talking to them about random, run of the mill day to day rat killing stuff. It's cool. It's a good thing. And it goes on to say each group has but one reason for being, to carry the message to the still suffering alcoholic. And again, it goes back to, you could have, you could just walk in for your first meeting. You could be there for years. We still have issues that we need to work through. It says the group exists so that the alcoholic can find a new way of life. That's very important, because our old way of life didn't really work. So, that's why we're in recovery. Duh. A life abundant in happiness. Abundant. That is a huge key word. Abundant is like a shit ton, right? It's just this enormous amount, right? So this tells me that I'm going to have a life that is full and abundant, a shit ton of happiness, which I have. We're going to have joy, an abundant amount of joy, right? It's to have joy in your soul, right? Is a wonderful thing, and freedom, right? I'm going to have abundance of freedom. I think that word gets tossed around too much. Tossed around too easy. Sorry, I got to drink some coffee. I love coffee. I'm under-caffeinated this morning. So, freedom is a word. We have freedom from alcohol. I didn't have to roll over and grab a bottle of Jack Daniels and, get me a slug before I rolled out of bed this morning. Right? Freedom. Freedom from the bondage of alcohol. Right? I'm not shackled to the fact that I am sitting here at, 9 o'clock in the morning, wondering how I'm going to plan my day around drinking, or do I have enough to get me through the day, or should I go to the store and buy more? I have that freedom not to do that. I'm not shackled by that obsession and that compulsion to just more, and just completely anesthetize myself to where I don't have to feel anything. And my wife went, she's a teacher, and she went back to work today. Still weird that they're going back in July, but anyway, and I don't have to worry, and she doesn't have to worry that she's going to come home today and I'll be sitting in the garage, passed out. It's a beautiful thing. Also freedom for, a lot of things, right? I'm free to go and do whatever I choose to do. If I want to go to the bank, if I want to go to the grocery store, if I want to go get gas in the car, if I want to go mow the yard, if I want to clean the garage, if I want to, just go sit out on the back patio and, watch the construction that's going on behind our house. I have the opportunity and the freedom of choice to do that. I also have the freedom from the bondage of self. I don't have to be so damn selfish. I get to choose to do nice things for other people. I can put other people first. And one of the coolest feelings that I get is when I go do something for somebody else and they don't know. And I don't have to tell anybody. I just do it because it makes me feel good and it helps somebody else. Because I believe as human beings that we are put on this planet to help each other. And be grateful for what we have. There's fires all over the state of Texas, and I'm, obviously in California and other states too, but, here is like, imagine all those people who've lost everything. Like everything. Like look around your house or apartment or wherever you're living, right? And all of that could be gone just in a second. Not to mention, their animals, not to mention, the dogs and cats and horses and cows and all that stuff. It's terrible. I'm trying to find a way, how to help those people. I donate to the Red Cross, donate to, some good causes. There's something that we each can do for somebody else every stinking day. Whether it's a wave, a good morning, a hello, holding the door open for somebody, that's a lost art. How about just being nice and kind to other people? Right? There's a lot of things that we can do to show our gratitude. and to help other people and not expect anything in return, and not be so damn selfish and not just keep taking and not, it's how about it's a we or, sometimes you. I heard a joke, there's no I in team, right? But there is a me. So take that for what it's worth. And again, all I have is my experience, strength, and hope that I get to share with people. But only if they ask. I don't go and one of these street preachers stand on the corner, and you know tell everybody how awesome recovery is. But make no mistake, if somebody asks me, then I'll tell them. I started class on Monday, and they said, well, just tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of introduce yourself to the class. And I'm like, okay, well, my name's Mike. I'm an alcoholic. Been sober since May 7th, 2010. And they were doing it on Zoom, and all their heads, they were down, I guess, looking at their phone, and all their heads popped up. And I'm like, hey, man, this is me. This is who you're dealing with. I used to be a worthless, just unhappy, miserable piece of crap living in a dark abyss of just nothingness, and now, I live in the light, right? I'm happy. I am free. I am full of joy. I'm full of gratitude. It is a remarkable way of life, I'm going to tell people about it, and I kind of gave them a little bit of my story, and they're like, oh, congratulations, and way to go. And it's still for me, it's still kind of uncomfortable when people do that, just because it's yes, I have done some work, but it is all on my higher power. It is he removed the desire for me to drink early and allowed me to grow in this program. And that's why I tell everybody this is my lifestyle. This is my way of life now, because I absolutely refuse to go back and live the way that I did. Right? No more darkness, no more misery, no more hate, no more pain, no more bullshit. Right? This is, let's go forward. Let's be, a beacon of hope for somebody, who sees you, and you know what? If that son of a gun can stay sober, by God, I can too. And sometimes it's really that easy, especially to people who knew me when I was out there, and they see me now. They're like, holy crap, dude! It's like a whole other person, and which is a good thing, right? Which is a really good thing. And then at the end it says, thus. Love that word, thus. Sounds so, I don't know, British. Thus, my sobriety and our program's survival depend on my determination to put first things first. First things first with me is I get up every morning and I choose to be happy and I don't drink. No matter what. I heard a guy in the meeting the other day, a guy named Jerry, and it's very profound. And I told him I was going to steal it and use it. So, Jerry, I stole it, and now I'm going to use it. He said, I wake up every morning, and I have to get to God before my brain gets to me. And how true is that? I have to wake up, and I have to immediately make conscious contact with God, because if not, I can wake up and my brain is going 90 to nothing. I'm thinking about all the crap I got to do today. I got to think about where I got to go, and this time, and when I'm going to eat, and how much coffee do we have, and it's just da 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 da, right? And what time are the meetings? Can I make this one? Well, I can't make that one because I got to go here, and then right, and it's just mental craziness, right? So I have to get to God before my brain gets to me. I have to wake up and consciously I look up, I kind of give a wink and a nod, and say thank you, and go about my morning stuff that I do every morning, and then we get on with the day and do whatever's next. Whether you go to work, whether you cut a podcast, whether you go to a meeting, whether you go mow the yard, whatever it is, right? But I have to do, the very first thing I have to do is make conscious contact with my higher power, because if I don't, it's just I'm off, and I can't really explain it. It's just I feel off, right? But when I do that, then my day starts out good, and I'm on the right path. And it's not like I just pray in the morning and then pray at night and that's it. No, I have a conversation with my higher power all day, right? I'll go through, I'll be driving down the street and I barely miss a wreck, or it's just something innocuous, happens. Kind of look up and thank you, right? Because that's it, right? It's God doing for me and watching out for me, over stuff I can't, do for myself, and every morning I pray, it's like, hey, I mix this in. It's like, please walk into every room before I do, because I am still socially awkward, and I am still socially inept. I still get uncomfortable when I'm around people. I just do. It's just a thing. And then at night, I thank you for everything that you've done that I have noticed, and thank you for everything that you've done that I have not noticed, because I don't really notice a lot of the stuff that kind of going on behind the scenes, so to speak. But he's laying the pavement, and I kind of equate it to building the railroad track, right? He's laying the tracks, and I'm coming through, and I'm knocking in the pins to hold it down, and it's worked so far, and I think it's a pretty good shot that today's going to be kind of the same, right? It's always a good day as long as I don't drink and I don't intentionally hurt anybody. It's a glorious day. Again, I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate Podbean for helping me put this stuff out there. If you ever thought about starting a podcast, I would strongly suggest podbean.com. And again, I thank you guys for your support. This is the support and reactions and feedback that I'm getting has been positive, and I appreciate that. It does mean a lot, and I'm not just saying that. It truly warms my heart that as socially awkward as I am, and as vulnerable as I feel when I'm doing this, that the feedback has been so positive. It gives me hope and motivation to keep going and getting the message out there. There's analytics that say where people are listening, and there's a lot in the U.S. and there's a lot over in Europe, and it's just fascinating and humbling that people would take the time to download and listen to me, babble about recovery. It is humbling, and I appreciate it, and I thank you all. And again, if you want to send me an email, TikTok, Facebook, all over social media, Recovery is effing awesome. If you want to hit me up on the email, it's recoveryiseffingawesome@gmail.com. Website was recoveryiseffingawesome.podbean.com. And again, I thank y'all for taking time out of y'all's day, because I'm sure that y'all have stuff better to do than listen to some redneck babble on about how badass recovery is, or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate the hell out of you, and I will talk to you next time. And remember, recovery is effing awesome.